Hello there, this is Chris Smith. I'm a family law partner here at Balmore's Law, and I'm going to be navigating through the coronavirus and its impact on your child custody plan. As family law attorneys, we have received numerous calls regarding how this pandemic and coronavirus is going to impact custody and visitation, and whether or not we're able to prevent visitation from occurring as a result of coronavirus. And everybody has questions. Even the attorneys have questions. Even judges have questions. Lots of people have questions. And so we've put this quick little presentation together to try to assist you in making decisions and understanding how this pandemic is impacting your custody plan in Oklahoma. So let's get started. Keep in mind, this PowerPoint presentation is based on information that we know today. This is based on information that is available to us and is today and is subject to change tomorrow. Just like courthouses have closed based on numerous orders from the Supreme Court, this information is changing regularly. And so keep that in mind as we proceed and understand that this information may have a unique impact on your specific case. And so it's always better to consult a legal professional, consult an attorney, contact our office if you have specific questions regarding your specific custody plan. What is COVID-19? If you're unfamiliar with COVID-19, I'd like to know exactly where you've been living because I want to come there. I don't know that I have to explain it, but COVID-19 is a respiratory illness that's more contagious than the flu and is spread in similar ways. Its symptoms include fever, cough, shortness of breath. Turn on the news tonight, and there's no doubt you'll understand what COVID-19 is if you don't already. So some of the questions we've been receiving as family law attorneys. First of all, everybody's curious, are the courthouses closed, and am I still able to get a divorce or file a motion? Yes, courthouses across Oklahoma are closed. All 77 counties are ordered closed by the Supreme Court in Oklahoma. Yes, in most counties, you can still get a divorce. And so it depends on the county, it depends on the judge, and it depends on the situation that you're in specifically. As a rule of thumb, you more than likely can get divorced, but you need to contact your attorney and find out specifically based on the judge in your case. And so that's going to be the best advice we can give you. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that on the next slide. Can I still get a victim's protective order? Yes, you can still get an emergency order, including a VPO. And so those are some of the only hearings that are taking place right now are the emergency type. Number 3, my city county has a stay-at-home order. How does that impact my court order? Your court order is still in effect and you must comply with it. That's the short answer for that. Number 4, the father of my child has been diagnosed with COVID-19. What should I do? Follow the CDC guidelines and use common sense. That's a common sense type answer right there. Don't expose your kids, don't expose yourself, don't expose anyone that doesn't need to be exposed. And if someone has a problem with that, you need to contact your attorney and try to address that. But you don't need to be exposing children to this situation if someone has been exposed. Number 5, I lost my job due to COVID-19. Do I still have to pay child support? You do. But you should file a motion to modify child support at your earliest opportunity to preserve your time in which the modification may occur. We're going to talk a little bit more about this later in the presentation. Number 6, can both parties agree to a temporary modification and visitation without a judge's approval? Absolutely. Agreements can happen at any time and are encouraged. Just like in any situation involving custody, you can always work with the other side to come to an amicable resolution, and that's encouraged. Judges don't want to have to deal with silly disputes, and so it is better if these things can be worked out. They need to be worked out between the two of you. Court closures. As I said before, emergency orders from Governor Stitt and orders from the Oklahoma Supreme Court have closed all 77 counties. The most recent order closes all 77 counties through May 15th. Although courthouses are closed, we can continue to file pleadings in most counties, including Oklahoma County. And some judges will hear your matter via Zoom or go to meeting, but it's absolutely on a case-by-case basis. If you do have a family law issue, work with your attorney or give us a call regarding rescheduling any hearings that may have been scheduled prior to May 15th. And make sure to check your local courthouse regarding any specific consideration or rules that may apply to your case specifically. Options for resolution during COVID-19. As in any disagreement resulting from your custody order, there are always multiple ways to resolve the conflict. Some of those include mediation, negotiation, filing motions, filing for emergency relief, or working with your GAL or parenting coordinator. Those are all still available to you and will continue to be available to you as we deal with this pandemic. Just because the matter may not be heard does not mean you do not want to proceed with your case when issues arise. You're going to want to be ready when courthouses do reopen for business and make sure that you're in the queue and that you have your motions or your case filed. As in any divorce case, with children, you have a 90-day waiting period before that case can be finalized anyway. So if you're going to proceed with a divorce, it does make sense to go ahead and proceed, get it filed, start tolling that 90-day period so that when courthouses do reopen, we can proceed with finalizing your divorce. Specifically, some of these things that we're talking about, mediation, negotiation, those things can happen right now. Cases are being mediated. They're being mediated through Zoom or GoToMeeting and some in person. Negotiations are occurring right now between attorneys. Motions can be filed right now in most courthouses. And if you have an emergency, you can proceed with an emergency motion and ask the court for an emergency order. And then you're always subject to working with your GAL or your parenting coordinator to resolve your case. How does a shelter-in-place order affect visitation? In short, shelter-in-place orders do not impact your custody order. You're still expected to comply with your visitation schedule and child support order. Although the likelihood of being questioned is minimal, we recommend having a copy of your order with you in the event someone does question you as to why you're out and about. It's just prudent. But you need to make sure that you're complying with your custody order. And if you are not complying with it, you need to have a very good reason why, and you probably should consult your attorney before deciding that you're not going to comply. In the event there has been an exposure to a parent or a child that's going to prevent visitation from occurring, take advantage of the same technologies that we're utilizing every day in our businesses, such as Zoom and GoToMeeting for face-to-face time with your children. You can utilize those same technologies or others like Caribou to interact by reading and coloring via the app. But the key here is to make sure that you're continuing to maintain contact. As we said in the beginning, communication is the key to this whole pandemic in terms of most issues that we're dealing with. And so keep the communication alive between both parents and children. Short-term impacts that we do expect to see include disruptions to visitation schedules based on exposure. We anticipate modifications being necessary for child support as people are losing their jobs or unable to pay. And we see this time as setting up modifications down the road for couples who are unable to work together to resolve their issues as it relates to custody and visitation. Your case will also be continued if it's currently pending. So you need to consult with your attorney as to when those things are going to be continued, if your attorney knows, because they may not know, because the courthouse may not know. In the event you believe you have an emergency, you should first call law enforcement and the Department of Human Services if it warrants such a call. If you do not believe it warrants such a call, you probably don't have an emergency. That's a pretty good rule of thumb. To rise to the level of an emergency, you must demonstrate the existence of an imminent threat of physical bodily injury if the court or if the order is not issued. If you question whether the facts warrant such a filing, you should call your attorney and discuss it with them based on the facts that you have in front of you. School closures. The Oklahoma Supreme Court's ordered that school closures should not impact visitation schedules, and that schedules should continue as if school is in session. If this presents a problem for you or the other parent, you should work together to resolve the matter, or contact your attorney to determine the best course of action. That's the best advice we can give you at this time. As we said earlier, every case is different. Every custody order is unique. Every parent, and every relationship is unique. So you need to just work with the other side as best you can. If you can't, then you need to contact an attorney. The long-term impact of this pandemic on custody cases is more than likely going to include future modifications based on one parent's actions during this time, or modifications of child support based on lost wages. Changes in circumstances are occurring every day, and so we do believe this is probably going to open the door for a lot of modifications of child support, modifications of support in general, maybe some modifications of custody and visitation based on relocations, and more than likely some modifications based on a failure to communicate. And so don't be the party that's failing to communicate if you can help it. You must continue to pay your child support as ordered. However, in the event there's been a change in circumstances with your employment, as we said previously, you should file a motion to modify as soon as possible. The date you file will be the date that the court can calculate the modification, so the earlier you file, the better. We've linked to DHS so that you can run a child support guideline yourself to determine what the change would be. Good rule of thumb is that if it's not going to change more than $50 a month, you probably don't want to mess with it. But if it is going to impact, if your child support is going to be impacted by you losing a job or change in circumstances regarding income, you need to file a motion to modify as soon as possible. Social impacts. Good communication is key for all of us at this time, and especially for those who are sharing custody of a child or children. Keep in mind that you're not alone in your home when dealing with the anxieties of this epidemic. Children are hearing about viruses, pandemics, and death just about every day on the news or around them. And if they're not hearing from the news, they know that this is a very unique time and that mom and dad are not going to work every day. So this disruption should not be amplified by creating conflict with the other parent if you can help it. The best thing you can do is be smart about the way you handle communication with the other side. Work together, be patient. Don't try to create problems that are not there. That's the best advice that we can give you. In the event you cannot get through this without some help, we're here to help. In the event you've got additional questions about your situation, please don't hesitate to give us a call. You can reach us at 405-701-5355, and we'll be happy to help you navigate this most unusual time in your custody case. You can also visit our website at www.ballmooreslow.com. That's Ballmoores, M-O-R-S-E, Low, L-O-W-E.com. For more information about our firm and for additional information about the coronavirus's impact on custody, visitation, and the courts. And if you'd like to reach me directly, feel free to. You may do so by emailing me at csmith@ballmooreslow.com. That's csmith@ballmooreslow.com. You can also find us online and you can contact us through our website. Regardless of the situation, we look forward to helping you and assisting you. We're here. We're taking calls every day. We're scheduling consultations and continuing to do that via GoToMeeting. And so we're happy to move your case along for you, even through this most unusual time. We look forward to assisting you, and we wish you good luck and best wishes as we deal with this situation.